response video to this Riff character. Yeah, again, he did an hour's worth, so I'll have to do this in pieces. But really, really just going to be really annoying, and I'm probably going to get rude and hostile eventually, because this is bullshit. This is just fucking bullshit. So here he's come up with another asshole, just complete asshole title, right? Showing his ignorance, right? Not that these guys have any claim to intellect. You know, they claim to be smart people. So anyway, hey Gary, George Orwell called. He said it's time to move past 1984. Well, George Orwell actually would find my policy on reproduction completely consistent with his own values. He didn't think people should have some sort of absolute right to have children or to be a burden on society, and he sort of basically believed in, you know, a work ethic and all of that kind of stuff. So you fail, like, just even using his name. Like, you have a right to use his name to defend basically just slander and stupidity. Bigotry also, grotesque bigotry. There's no way you can defend 800% tax versus 30% tax on alcohol. And you're going to sit there and give me some sort of bogus bullshit argument that that's consistent with the amendments of the United States Constitution that basically have created statutory law that states you can't discriminate. I mean, that's really the origin of those laws, is the equal right to liberty, all right? And so we've already decided there's an equal right to liberty. You can't, as the majority has the responsibility. The whole existence of the Constitution, right, is basically agreed upon among the intellectuals, as the Bill of Rights basically exists to defend minority rights. Correct? I mean, if we put that as a question to the highest IQ people in America, you think they'd be able to get that one right? That the existence of the Bill of Rights essentially exists just to protect minority rights, because the majority has all the power. You fucking asshole.
I am not a Tea Partier. The title of the video was a joke about you, actually, because, as I said in the video, a lot of the logic you used was similar to that the Tea Party used.
Yeah, whatever. So anytime anybody argues that you're wasting money, they're a Tea Partier. They're a Republican. Okay, got it. What a funny joke. Yeah, fuck you, stupid. It was just, you title videos badly. Whose fault is that but your own, okay? You're using George Orwell's fucking name, and George Orwell, he wouldn't have anything to do with your inane idiocy thinking that people should have some sort of absolute right to have fucking babies and people should pay them to do it. He wouldn't. So you lose, you fail, you double, triple fail because you're stealing somebody else's name. So fuck you, you suck. Now let's just get to some more of this crap.
Support, and at least somewhat argue for it in my video to you. I'm sorry if that wasn't explicit and wasn't...
Yeah, it was stupid.
You say is that the cigarette taxes are unconstitutional. This is a claim you make for about the first third of your video. You claim that taxes on cigarettes are unconstitutional. The most immediate response I can get to that would be, no, actually wrong. Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution gives Congress the power to, and I quote, lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises.
Right, and I wasn't arguing you can't tax cigarettes. That's not the argument, shithead. Alright, so again, just fucking play your idiotic fucking games. 800 versus 30. You can't see how that's just obvious? And I can give you the more obvious argument. Back in the Prohibition days, why do you think they didn't just lay a tax? Instead, they went and got a constitutional amendment, which is an incredibly arduous, almost impossible task. Very few times has it ever happened in the history since in 200 fucking years. It's only happened, what, twice? Well, no, it's obviously, I mean twice in terms of an important event. Really difficult to do, all right? They couldn't even do it. The women couldn't even do it to affirm their rights. It's so damn difficult to do. All right, so why did they do that to prohibit alcohol? Why didn't they had the vast majority, they had the majority in Congress, they had the majority in all the states, why didn't they just levy a fucking tax? Oh, that's right, because the Supreme Court at that time would have said, fuck you, you can't do that, all right? The majority cannot tax minority vices. They didn't even like it taxing vices in the first place because it's already dangerous territory. Unless you have a goddamn urgent, immediate need to do it, they're not going to like you doing it. All right, so this is the bullshit here. Obviously, the law has changed. Now you can be as discriminatory as you want to so you can pay for Republican tax cuts. And that's the only reason why this tax exists is because this fucking tax on poor people is being used to finance tax cuts on the goddamn rich. Fucking cigarette taxes are the #1 source of revenue in the state of fucking goddamn New Jersey, you fucking cunt. All right, above sales tax, above income tax, even above the lottery at one time. I think the lottery's ahead of it now, but it doesn't matter. The point is, it was the highest source of revenue for the state, okay, was a levy on a minority vice. And you're going to justify that as being American constitutionally consistent? Then you're a fucking cunt weasel. You deserve to be fucking goddamn called exactly what you are, a fucking Republican, you fucking cunt.
Pay the debts and provide for the common defense, end quote.
Well, you sound like a teabagger, right? Because they quote out of context articles of the Constitution all the time. So does the NRA, the militia. Yeah, well, they always leave the militia shit out of there, and they always leave out a rational definition of exactly why that sentence is in there. Why the fuck, if you were given an absolute right to gun rights, why the fuck would they put that crap in there? Just for fun? Just to make it more words? No, obviously it meant something, and now all of a sudden it doesn't mean a motherfucking thing. The words are completely vacuous and empty. Okay, so yeah, we have they write the statute at a time when we had no standing army, and we needed a fucking goddamn militia to defend the goddamn country against any other nation who could have come floating over here at any old time and decide to pick a fight. And so instead of being rational and accepting the fact that they're basically saying, well, under this current circumstances, there's no way we can ban guns because, damn it, we need these people to fight the goddamn war if we have one. Yeah, let's just ignore that context and just pretend 200 years later that they put those words in there for no goddamn fucking reason. So yeah, just more bullshit. So you're the fucking goddamn fucker playing games with these goddamn words. So make them mean nothing. Make every word in the goddamn United States Constitution mean not a goddamn fucking thing, and then call me the teabagger. You're the one fucking bullshit in the goddamn Constitution, you fucker.
States also have the ability to lay tax on things as well here.
Again, that's not the fucking argument, shithead. 800%, 30%. Okay, the argument is the taxes are disproportional and preposterously excessive. Okay, that they only exist because of the majority is exploiting the minority. They're only doing it because they can do it, and the fucking Supreme Court is allowing them to get away with it. But it's grotesque discrimination, it's grotesque duplicity, it's grotesquely disproportionate treatment for no good fucking reason. Except to steal the fucking money. And here you are defending it, you fucking cunt. To pay for Republican tax cuts, they're stealing money from fucking minority vice cigarette smokers. If they taxed atheism tomorrow, if they taxed people who didn't go to fucking church, would you justify that because the majority can tax anything it fucking wants to, you fucking cunt?
Right. Maybe you are not familiar with this, but states also...
Yeah, maybe you're a fucking dumb cunt.
So can put taxes on you because you are a resident. As well as cities and towns.
Yeah, they can't do it discriminatorily, jackass. They can't do it because I'm black or because I have long hair or because I wear sneakers a lot. They can't do it for any dumb, bogus, bullshit reason. They actually have to have a cause to goddamn disproportionately tax one specific individual or a specific group of individuals. They can't disproportionately tax. So you goddamn explain to me exactly how alcohol is less of a danger, a threat, of violence, against the life and welfare and dignity of the human race. You go explain to me how cigarette taxes are more of a threat to civil society than goddamn alcohol. Explain that to me, you fucking cunt. Until you do explain that to me, you're a goddamn fucking weasel, lying, motherfucking slandering cunt. Alright, I'm not the ignorant asshole here. You are, fuckwit. You're an ignorant, dumb, shit-talking asshole.
The French Revolution is what inspired us for our own revolution.
Inspired, inspired what? The founding fathers and their sacred fucking fortune? Go find out what kind of tea was in the goddamn harbor, jackass. Okay? It was cheaper British tea. Yeah, that's what it was about. It was our goddamn trade wars, all our American Revolution was. And the French are the ones that saved our ass in the end anyway. They won the goddamn war for us. But anyway, let's not argue American history, you fucking cunt. The bottom line is any asshole can figure out that disproportional, bigoted, majorities taking advantage of law is exactly what the Constitution was intended to fight against. The Bill of Rights exists merely to keep the majority in control, to keep them from taking what isn't theirs. And it isn't theirs to tax a fucking minority vice at 800% when they allow their own vices to go tax-free, essentially.
You might want to check your dates there, by the way. The third thing you said...
Dates of... Well, I have to go back. He's going to tell me I said something about the French Revolution.
Upon you as well. I'd also like to point this out to you, Gary, but even our founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, for instance, actually put forward an excise tax on alcohol in 1791, which led to the famous Whiskey Rebellion. A small aside here, by the way, Gary, you said at one point...
Again, prohibition, butthole. Why didn't they just increase taxes on alcohol? Why didn't they just create a $50 tax on an ounce of alcohol? Okay, it would have the same exact effect. It'd be even better than prohibition because now they could just go up to everybody who buys alcohol and charge them $50. Okay, so now they could have a huge revenue stream from the goddamn consumers. And they wouldn't have to put anybody in jail. They could just tax the fuck out of them.
In another video that, again, Edible Napalm showed me, you claimed that the French Revolution was an inspiration for the American Revolution, and that the French Revolution is what inspired us for our own revolution. You might want to check your dates there, by the way.
For what? What, the Magna Carta wasn't written before the U.S. Constitution? No, I don't need to check anything.
The third thing you say is that you can't use the tax code as a majority, whatever that means. You say you can't use a tax code to discriminate against people. But that's factually wrong. You can use the tax code to discriminate against people.
Then why didn't they do it? Why didn't they do it? Why in Prohibition you're saying all these legal guys, all the rest of these people, they weren't smart enough to figure out that all they have to do is increase taxes and they don't have to get a constitutional amendment. They couldn't figure that out.
One, are you married? If you answer yes, you go into this category. Are you married? No. You go into that category. Do you have kids? Well, you go into this category. Are you, I don't...
Yeah, those are all, okay, reasoned-based discriminations. Okay, they're not discriminations that don't take people in the same circumstances and treat them disparately for any other reason than some other purpose, okay? And it's a minor disparity, correct? It's not 830. So again, this is just bullshit. You want to defend, okay, the fact that the majority has basically said that adults in the United States of America, in the world, have no right to choose to smoke cigarettes, okay, because you're going to make it too expensive for it to be practically done. You think that's constitutional. You think that's consistent with American ideals. I think you're a fucking cunt then. I think we ought to tax your goddamn stupid face, okay? We ought to just tax ugly, all right? You're an ugly motherfucker. We ought to tax you out of fucking existence.
No. Poor, you go into this category. Are you rich? You go into that category. People pay taxes differently. There are ways people are discriminated against,
and they're all for some social cause. Okay, again, you're just what the fuck's the point of arguing with some pussy shit who won't even pay attention? Okay, you have to have a reason to do that. You can disproportionately tax because you're saying it's for some social good, and you demonstrate that this is consistent with other social goods that are in your policy. All right? What I'm obviously saying is there's no way you can do that with cigarette taxes. And again, this is about taxing a vice. All right? Something the old the Supreme Court would talk about in saying this is dangerous territory. As soon as you get into the taxation of vice, all right, you got to be really careful. You got to be deliberate and careful about whether or not there's going to be a disproportional impact, an unfair impact based on majority rights.
Or in the tax code, it's not unconstitutional. Firstly, you act as if, like, smokers are this oppressed minority with no representation in government, whereas, reality, on the other hand, would put out to you that lots of elected officials and government employees are, in fact, smokers.
Prove it. Prove. Show me how many congressmen are smokers. All right? Proportional to the fucking people who smoke in the United States of America. There's at least 20 million people who still smoke in the United States of America. All right? So that entitles them to about 20%. Well, go by voting, go by voters, okay? Let's go by voting smokers versus voters represented in Congress, all right? That would entitle them to probably close to 20% of the United States Congress. So you're going to tell me that 20% of the congressmen in the United States Congress smoke cigarettes. Well, I think you're a fucking turd liar.
For one, you may have heard of him. I think his name is Barack Obama, and if I'm not mistaken...
Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, he completely denies it. If I'm not mistaken, you don't have any fucking video of him smoking a cigarette. So, if I'm not mistaken, you're a lying cunt.
He's the president of the United States, and he's a smoker. So much for not having any representation, right? I mean, clearly...
Oh, that's what representation means now, okay? All right, it's not about what you believe in. It's not about you protecting your rights. No, it's about somebody just looking like you. So if they look like you, you're represented. Is that your argument? Yeah, of course it's your argument, because you're a dumb fucking weasel cunt.
Clearly, President Obama, being a smoker, couldn't possibly understand what it's like to be a smoker. And possibly...
Oh, he's a fucking millionaire, you dumb cunt. I don't think he can understand the fact that I spent more on cigarette goddamn taxes than I did for every other utility I paid, including my heat, my electric, my gas, every fucking utility. My fucking goddamn cigarette taxes were more than, you fucking cunt. I wish I could tax you out of your goddamn life, you little fucking weasel. For being fucking ugly.
Represent smokers in the White House. And secondly, on this point, you can use the tax code to encourage and discourage behavior and discriminate against...
You can't do it to discriminate. And again, we can take the legislature fucking debates about increasing sales taxes on cigarettes from every state legislature, and guess what you're going to hear is an argument about the fucking money. You're not going to hear an argument about saving poor children, because as soon as they'd have that argument, they'd have to come up with something rational like, well, why don't we just pass a law against allowing kids access to cigarettes? Why don't we just make cigarette smokers registered cigarette smokers and give them a little ID card, and then they can buy their cigarettes like methadone or something else? Why are we using taxes? Oh, that's right, because we have these huge deficits created by giving these fucking tax breaks to the richest fucking cunts in the world, and we have to come up with the money somewhere. So the highest source of revenue in the state of New Jersey is going to be a tax on a minority vice. And you're going to defend that because you're a fucking cunt.
Hence various groups. For example, you think cigarette taxes are discriminating against you and your lifestyle, which you say is bad, and you can't use your tax code to discriminate against you and a lifestyle. But you are in favor of taxing meat, so it's less attractive and affordable for meat eaters to eat meat, therefore discriminating against, their lifestyle and what they do and what they like to do. So how is what they're doing, screwing with your ability to...
Because my personal ability to smoke is not a fucking goddamn crime against another sentient creature. So that would be my first defense, okay? You're imposing harm. You're fucking goddamn capturing, torturing, killing sentient creatures, all right? It's a little bit different than having a cigarette in your fucking living room. I think the liberty interest in the Constitution is about like when your fucking liberty extends into somebody else's goddamn face. Well, guess what? I think when you fucking goddamn are killing, torturing, and eating something else, you're in its fucking goddamn face. I think you're fucking encroaching a little bit too far. You're not just minding your own fucking business in your fucking living room anymore, you fucking cunt. And I didn't suggest an 800% tax.
I guess, by making it more expensive. How is that discrimination, whereas you wanting to screw with meat eaters by making eating meat more expensive, not discrimination?
Well, right, let's make it... I'm just saying, you want to try out an 800% tax on meat? All right, so let's just be... If you're going to make the argument that somehow I've defended that, well, then fine, let's make it fair then. Okay, keep the 800% tax on cigarettes, and I will gladly exchange the 800% tax on cigarettes for an 800% tax on meat. It's okay with me if you want to play that game. So you're the one defending the game now, jackass. All right? So you're making some plea that, so it would be a terrible encroachment on us poor meat eaters if you taxed us. So how come it's possible that you could make this argument that somehow when I stab you, it's not okay, but when you stab me, it is okay? How do you rationally call that me being inconsistent? I think that's you being inconsistent, asshole. I'm not, again, if you want to make the comparison, let's do that. Let's have an 800% tax on meat, and I'll make the fair exchange. I'll say, fine then. I'll accept the cigarette tax for an 800% tax on meat.
Thirdly, on this point, do you think the federal excise taxes on the sales of portable bait containers, fish hook extractors, fishing tackle boxes, gaff hooks, whatever those are, and landing nets under...
These are, again, things related to real expenses, okay? So let's not talk about fish and game financing or some other kind of bullshit, okay? They put fish in the stream. They got to pay for the fucking fish somehow. So that's how they pay for it. All right, you explain to me again how cigarette smokers collect more in social benefits, because that's a lie. So go ahead, lie some more about how cigarette smokers need somebody to pay. No, they're paying their way plus. Okay, they're paying too much into the goddamn system. They're not getting more out of it. They're paying into it, you stupid cunt. So you don't know your facts. You're just an ignorant fucking flapping goddamn anus. That's all you are. A flapping fucking anus on the fucking internet. Talking about how you think you know what you're fucking talking about, but instead you're just a lying propagandist jackass for the very forces of tyranny and evil that you pretend to complain about. And you're one of them. You're just fucking mouthing a bunch of fucking politically correct social jibber-jabber that has nothing to do with the goddamn truth. Because you couldn't give a fuck about the truth because you're just an arrogant, obnoxious, flapping ass.
Section 4161A, subsection 1 of the Internal Revenue Code is an unfair imposition upon the minority of people in this country who are fishermen. Is that an unfair imposition, or is it okay because... I don't even know, fish tank aerosolators or whatever it was, is not covered under the excise tax of that section of the Internal Revenue Code.
Yeah, well, these things do make a difference, so you can be all glibby about it, but the fact of the matter is that discrimination is goddamn discrimination, and every time it exists, you got to look at it and say, why does it exist? All right, and if you're going to, like I said, defend the standard of the lemon test and a few other tests the Supreme Court used to use, are basically these kind of motive tests, okay? I mean, is there any kind of like demonstrable argument that can be made that this is just about the money? And the argument's quite obvious. Like I said, you could go back to the New Jersey legislature, and every time they debated an increase in the cigarette tax, and you wouldn't hear one fucking voice talk about the poor children. They just talked about who and where they're going to spend their fucking stolen money. You fucking cunt.
So yeah, you can use excise taxes to discriminate and tax specific items. Cigarettes are a specific item, and they can be covered under an excise.
Again, you can't use the word, you can't use it for deliberate or malicious or whatever the right word is, discrimination, okay? The discrimination has to be inadvertent and non-specific, okay? As soon as it's specific and not inadvertent but deliberate, then it's not legal, shithead.
So can alcohol, and it is.
30%. Okay, there's no point in arguing with a jackass and an idiot, right? Alcohol's taxed at 30%. Cigarettes are taxed at 800%. You can't tell the difference between 30% and 800%. You can't tell the difference between a minor tax and the highest taxed item in the fucking world. Gee, you're fucking dumb then. Too stupid for my goddamn time. But I'll probably come back to this eventually someday in the future. But fuck you, you turd.